Wrigley's Spearmint Gum, the refreshing, delicious treat that gives you chewing enjoyment, presents for your listening enjoyment Broadway's My Beat, the exciting drama of mystery, murder, and the people who walk the Great White Way, with Brody Fitzpatrick as Detective Danny Clover. For refreshment while you work, for enjoyment anytime, chew a stick of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. The delicious, long-lasting, real mint flavor of Wrigley's Spearmint cools your mouth and freshens your taste. The good, smooth chewing helps keep you feeling fresh and alert. Adds enjoyment to whatever you're doing. So indoors, outdoors, at work, or play, enjoy chewing Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. Wrigley's Spearmint. Refreshing, delicious.
When the summer becomes August, Broadway pauses for a while, considers what happened to the springtime dreams to be fulfilled in the middle of July at the very latest. And what of the blonde on last month's snapshots, the one with the sunny legs, the one you tried with poetry and she touched your cheek, the fawn of Camp Nevercare, jewel of the Catskills. She's back in the Bronx shoe store, kid, and the last time you walked by, she didn't look so good. And walk the streets furious with people and heat, and feel your throat tighten when it suddenly comes to you. Another summer's rushing away. Maybe next year, kid. Maybe. And uptown, east of Broadway, where I was, in the outdoor swimming pool, catering also to the seekers after something or other. The crowd was divided into swimmers, non-swimmers, sand-sitters, ukulele players, and miscellaneous. And the man in the swimming trunks lying on the concrete walk, the man who had drowned, and the police emergency crew working over him with the respirator, and the man from headquarters who had gotten there before me.
They've been working on it for quite a while, Danny.
Why'd you call me down, Muggavan?
I asked the same question of Patrolman Kenny. It's like this, Danny. Kenny was flagged off his beat when this man was dragged out of the pool. Took off the man's locker check. Went to the locker, for identification. The locker was empty.
Forced?
Those locks answer to a dime store skeleton key. Robbery gets a dozen calls a day from these pools.
So, you figure the man's drowning and his locker's being robbed had something to...
Maybe a coincidence, Danny. Maybe something else. I don't know. I wanted you to be here in case... Let's take a look.
One of you men, call the morgue.
The lifeguard who pulled him out is that one, Danny. Want to talk to him?
Uh-huh. I'm from the police, Danny Clover.
Russ, Gavey.
What happened here?
I was on my stand. He started to yell. I went in after him.
How'd you get those scratches on your shoulder?
He fought me. I had to take him under to break his hold. When he stopped struggling, I got him out. By the time he needed artificial respiration, I gave it to him until your men came.
All right. Did Detective Muggavan here tell you the man's clothes are gone? That it's going to be pretty difficult to identify him now?
Yeah, he told me.
Any ideas about it?
Nope.
Back to the office at headquarters and sit with it. A man had been drowned in a public pool. From a policeman's point of view, worth only a quarter-page form in triplicate. However, the fact of his lockers being robbed may be something else again. Probably not. More forms. Then, a couple of hours later, when the office gathers up its private shadows, a door opens. A man walks in.
Danny, you busy?
Come in, Dr. Sinsky. Sit down.
Thanks. I just came from the autopsy room, Danny.
And?
Has that man brought in from the swimming pool, the drowned one, has he been identified, Danny?
Not yet. What's on your mind?
He was murdered.
Murdered? How?
Whoever administered artificial respiration to the man killed him as surely as if he had driven a knife into his heart.
Dr. Sinsky, how the hell did that happen?
Gently, I will explain. Inside of the chest, Danny, is a delicate system of balances. Balances which cannot be upset, else a man's heart will be affected and his lungs.
What's that got to do with murder?
Simply that the autopsy I just performed on the drowned man revealed small internal hemorrhages, bruises of the muscles and bones of the chest from too active a manipulation.
You mean that lifeguard didn't do his...
I mean, he did a very bad job of artificial respiration.
And that's why you call it murder. Not premeditated, of course, Doctor.
That is not a question in your mind. You wanted to ask if it was premeditated, didn't you, Danny?
And let the question take over the room. Add the weight of its violence to the oppressive night heat, the stifling remembrance of other such questions posed in the same room, quietly, fearfully, because a policeman too reacts to the touch of death. It fills the room, and against its pressure, you lift the phone, make the call to the Department of Works, have them check personal files, come up with an address for Russ Gavey, lifeguard. Go there to the whole bedroom, furnished in style of brownstone, East 20s. Find it empty of Russ Gavey. Be told on the way out by the woman spread wide on the stoop, you should have asked before. Russ was across the street, in the park, on that bench, fighting for his share of the night air. Walk up to Russ, let him chew that last fiber of a matchstick.
Taking my well-earned rest. Want to help me, Mr. Clover?
Sure. Mind if I sit down, Russ?
Sure, sit down.
You were almost a hero today, Russ. Maybe that gives you the right to think like that.
You kidding? That's how I make my daily summer bread. $50 a week, ogle the girls, save a life.
How long have you been a lifeguard, Russ?
6, maybe 7 summers. Time out for a frolic on Anzio Beach.
Then you've had a lot of experience saving people from drowning.
My allotted share. That's all my life you want.
The medical examiner down at headquarters says the man you tried to save...
I remember.
Our medical examiner says he was murdered.
Oh, how come?
Our man says it was murder because artificial respiration wasn't applied properly.
Your man is a smart man, but a 4-bit weak lifeguard does the best he can. He studies in classes, he follows the first aid manual. You call him a murderer because he can't make it out with one poor slob?
You tell me, Russ. You murder the man?
Considering the percentage of lives that are saved and not saved by such as we, that question you may never be able to answer. On cop.
I'll keep trying, Russ. You won't mind, huh?
Danny, why don't you never turn on a light? You sit like this in the dock by yourself, I got one of the Tartaglia kids at home, does the same thing. You both make me feel the same way.
You've got your problems, haven't you, Gino?
I could do without them. You in the mood, Danny?
Sure, for whatever. What have you got?
Nothing. No progress on identification of the drowned man. No progress on a connection between him and that lifeguard, Russ Gavey. Reports on Gavey said he's looked up to at the pool by girls and ladies-sized swimmers. Occasionally, he buys for one or the other a beer at the concession stand. Occasionally, escorts one or the other type to her home, deposits her, goes to the newsstand, buys super type magazines, goes to his room. Healthy, normal muscle boy.
Maybe a murderer, Gino.
Pardon me, Danny, but I must take odds. Sergeant Tartaglia speaking. Yes? Yes, I got it. Hanson's Pawn Shop, East 34th. I told you I got it. They bother us with such...
Such what, Gino?
A man with a pawn shop got to nudge us in the midst of a nice conversation because somebody who worked in a pool hocked a suit of clothes, valuables. Look to this Mr. Hanson like stolen goods.
On East 34th?
Yeah, why bother yourself with it, Danny?
Because maybe they'll give me the name of a murdered man.
You might ask me why I called the police, Mr. Clover, after so many months of abstemioniously staying away from you fellows.
All right, Mr. Hanson, why?
Because there was something fishy about it this time. Fishy. This suit, this watch, ring, money clip was brought to me by a boy who's an attendant at a public pool.
The pool on Upper Broadway?
Inevitably that pool, where that unidentified man was drowned, his things stolen. You read about it, of course.
Who brought these to you?
A boy, known him well, had dealings with him intermittently.
Who's the boy?
Bobby Kent had a room in one of those crates on East 37th, 1654 East 37th. Just ask for Bobby. We all know him.
And you think these things belong to the drowned man?
The man was robbed where Bobby works, died where Bobby works. Bobby pawns things that obviously don't belong to him. What is there left for a decent man to think, Mr. Clover?
Then the 3-block walk through the languid summer night, the city-bound and the dream-bound people on the sandstone steps who find their delights in a pop bottle, or by taking possession of a star in the sky, or by cooling themselves with a fan, courtesy of Swanson's chicken fricassee. Past them and mind the kiddies at their nighttime play, the patter of little feet up an alley, and arrive at the address on 37th Street. And over one of the bells, see a name, Bobby Kent, Apartment 3. And the sound you hear is the far-off thunder made of heat, air currents, and stratosphere. And the lightning through the window at the end of the corridor lights up the number 3 on a door. Briefly, then again. Bobby Kent, it's the police, Bobby. Open up. I'm coming in, Bobby. Bobby was in. His shirt was ripped, his face bloody, hands tied behind his back, belt around his neck, and the belt was strung over a pipe near the ceiling. When I brought over a chair to stand on, there was lightning again, and the whole room was stark white for an instant. It took a while to get Bobby down, but it didn't matter. Bobby had been dead when I got there. Bobby had been murdered.
For refreshment while you work, for enjoyment anytime, chew a stick of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. When your mouth feels dry, when you're warm or tired, Wrigley's Spearmint is truly refreshing. The lively, full-bodied, real mint flavor cools your mouth, moistens your throat, freshens your taste. And the chewing itself gives you a little lift, helps you feel your best and do your best. So, for chewing enjoyment plus pleasant refreshment, chew delicious Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. We now continue with Broadway's My Beat, the Howard Crawford Murder Case.
Broadway leans against a doorway, flips a coin, and makes odds on the 31 days of August. This month, kid, it'll come in. The filly in the 3rd, the dreamboat, the oil on that little piece of property you leased in the Texas Badlands. Gotta come in. Otherwise, what have you been building, kid? Gotta come in. So you can indulge the whim of the hour, enjoy it, own it. All that neon, yours to turn on or off. The music of the dance calling to you from basement dance lands. Yours to play loud or soft or cut off just like that. Dance in the dark and in stillness if you want. And the traffic signals pushing back the people. Yours to make say, stop, go. You're a king, man, with headlines at your feet. Boy murdered, hung by belt in tenement room. Unknown man drowned in public pool. All yours, kid. A clean shuffle. A minute of luck, and it's all yours. And the next morning at headquarters, consider your share of it. Yours and Detective Muggavan's.
You still stick with that, Danny? That the man in the pool was murdered?
Yeah, you don't like it?
It's not that, Danny. It's only so many people drown. So many can't be saved. You gonna go back and call everyone that wasn't a murder victim?
Russ Gavey is a trained lifeguard. He told me the man fought him, had to be pushed under.
Happens that way sometimes, Danny.
It could have been the other way around. It could have been Russ wanted the man dead. It could have been he fought the man, drowned him, finished him with his own brand of artificial respiration.
Could have been. But where's the string that knots it, Danny? What connection is there
The
between
kid that was hung, Bobby Kent, the attendant at the pool. That could be a connection.
Because he stole a man's clothes out of a crummy locker? We're not even sure they belonged to the drowned man.
What do we know about them, Muggavan?
Well, from the cleaner's marks, they belong to a man named Howard Crawford. Married. I checked his wife. She'll be at the morgue to identify in a half hour. Would have come sooner. Wanted to go out and buy a dress first. I let her.
I'll go down and meet her. You get whatever you can on Bobby Kent. Friends. People he stole from. Whoever wanted him dead.
I'm working on it.
Put a tail on Gavey. Every breath he breathes, I want a report.
Got it. Anything else, Danny?
Yeah. Why does a woman need a new dress to look at a dead man?
I don't know. Ask her when you see her.
Are you ready, Mrs. Crawford?
Waiting for you.
All right. Just look at this man and tell me if he's your husband.
Okay. Put him back. He's mine. Can we get out of this place now?
Of course. Through this door. You want to sit down on this bench for a minute?
Or else, huh? Sure, I'll sit. What do you think of my husband, Mr. Clover? Can you imagine it? Howard getting himself a piece of marble in the police morgue.
When did you see him last?
I got out of a warm bed yesterday morning on account of the phone ringing. It was for Howard. He pinched my cheek and said, "Goodbye, honey. I'm going out of town."
This happen often? His going out of town?
In his line, salesman.
And you didn't see him after that?
Look, boyfriend, I was in the middle of a beauty exercise. Bend overs for the figure. When he walked away, I was grabbing my ankles and looked back. And there he was, going out of the house.
Doesn't it seem strange to you that he didn't go out of town, that he was found?
It's strange to me that he's dead, but I'm going to get used to it.
Who do you know had a reason for murdering him?
Murdered? I thought you said he drowned.
Do you like to swim, Mrs. Crawford?
See this sunburn? You think I got it standing under a hot iron? Look at it. See? How do you like it?
Did you get it at that swimming pool uptown?
Coney. I know a part of Coney where they carry a pretty good crowd. That's where this burn came from.
There's a lifeguard at that pool named Russ
I
Gavey.
go to Coney where they carry $1 million on the weekend. I don't confine me to the public pools uptown.
Did you have anything to do with your husband's death, Mrs. Crawford?
Now I'm a girl who's going to tell you the truth, boyfriend. Every time I thought of it, I've wished Howard dead every hour on the hour. I've wished him dead on the half hour too. But that's where the race results came over the radio. Howard, things have come true. I've wished for him.
That's all, Mrs. Crawford. You can get out of here now. And watch her reapply the lipstick and readjust her clothes and walk away from her dead to a summer rhythm that no longer held any part of him. A woman starting the new day fresh, the memory she had submitted to now happily dead on a marble slab. And at the end of the corridor, the street sunlight touching her face for an instant, darting away, leaving only pallor and the smear of scarlet on her lips. And back in the office, order a shadow for Mrs. Crawford, then a telephone report from Muggavan. He had found a girl who was the girlfriend of Bobby Kent, a box office girl at an all-day, all-night movie on East 125th. Lucille Lang, on duty for the rest of the day and night.
How many?
Police, Miss Lang.
Take back your badge. It don't buy you nothing.
You were a friend of Bobby Kent's.
Look, you want me to lose my job?
All we want, Miss Lang, is somebody who...
All you want is to mock me lousy with the management, huh? A sweaty cop snooping around where I live? I know. My girlfriend called me. Told me he had his nose in my affairs. Asked questions. She had to tell him I was cozy with Bobby.
All we want is something that'll give us Bobby's killer.
Search me up and down. You won't find Bobby's killer.
Then maybe someone who wanted him dead.
All the kid ever did was steal a buck here and there, so he could make an impression on me, on my girlfriend. A boy has to die for that.
He was a thief.
Ain't everybody, kiddo? One way or another? to sweep out the locker room in a public pool, to empty the foot baths, scrub them out. You think that's the end of the rainbow for a kid?
Did you know about the clothes he stole from the pool? The watch, the ring, the money clip?
Sure, I know. He told me. I even know about the $500 that was in the suit.
500?
We were gonna take it and go off to faraway places. But you know something, kiddo?
What?
Bobby's dead from hanging, and I'm cooped up in a cage. So I ain't gonna make it, huh?
Danny,
Come on in, Muggavan. What do you want?
an opinion
About what?
about how soon we should pick up this Russ Gavey for the murder of Crawford and that pool attendant.
If we pick him up, how long do you think we could hold him?
He's a killer, Danny. He's already killed
How
two-
are you going to prove premeditated murder by artificial respiration?
Maybe we shouldn't start from there, Danny. Maybe we should start from the pool attendant. He killed Bobby Kent because Bobby stole the clothes. Because Bobby would learn that the clothes belonged to Howard Crawford. Bobby was a sneak thief. From there to blackmail in one easy lesson.
And so we get back to Howard Crawford. You know what we need, Muggavan?
Yeah, a motive. We gotta find out what connection there is
Danny.
between this how.
You've got something, Gino?
Officer Rachi just called from a gas station on Queens Highway. Mrs. Crawford just registered at the Ritz Lodge Motel about 10 miles out of the city.
Thanks, Gino. Muggavan,
Yeah, Danny?
that shadow you've got on Russ Gavey, get him off. I don't want Gavey followed.
All right. Where are you going?
To find out why a widow wanders far from home.
It's open. Pour yourself a drink. I'll be right in. I had my hair done. Wait till you see. Bought some new clothes. You'll like 'em. Oh, you'll like 'em too, lover. You like 'em?
Is that your going away dress, Mrs. Crawford?
It could be for that too.
You've got a home in Manhattan, Mrs. Crawford. What are you doing here?
Where's your home boyfriend? And what are you doing here?
I wanted to talk to you.
Me and my sunburn made an impression, huh? So you get a flunky to follow me? You could have done that yourself. No uproar would have happened. Well, here we are.
You still haven't answered my question. What are you doing here?
A girl likes to get away sometime. You'd be surprised how many phone calls I've gotten since Howard drank all the water. Here's a dime. Throw it in the radio. No? Then I'll throw it a dime. Phone calls all day long. Now it's your turn.
Just to talk, kill some time.
That, Kenton. What'd you say, lover?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
Be a doll. Go away. Come back another day. I'll be here. Let's pick a Tuesday. Make it definite. Why don't you go right now?
Out the back way, through a window?
Just get. Hi, Russ. We got a little trouble.
Come in, Russ. Close the door.
I'll bet the lady told you to get out of here, Mr. Clover.
Uh-huh. You two know each other pretty well, don't you?
Yeah, a swimming pool romance. I saw him in those California feet flippers, and it twisted my heart.
You two planning on going away together? I only ask because the back of Russ's car is loaded with suitcases.
We're going to get married in Maryland. Is there a law?
Yes, there is. There's a whole section in the penal code about murder.
Back to that, huh?
I could have picked you up before, Russ, but I needed a motive. I had to find out why you murdered Howard Crawford. There she is.
How did I kill him?
By drowning him. You made sure the resuscitator squad wouldn't revive him. You crushed out whatever life there was in him.
Listen to him, Edith.
Yeah, listen. You killed Bobby Kent. He was a petty thief. He took the clothes you'd stolen from Crawford. Sooner or later, he'd put two and two together. Probably would have blackmailed you. You couldn't afford to let that happen.
You ready, Edith?
I'm ready. Only one thing, Russ.
What?
I'm a happy girl, Russ. I like to live happy. From now on, you're just gonna be a burden. As long as Lover here's got you, I don't want you.
Both of you. You're an accessory, Mrs. Crawford.
That changes things right away. Russ?
Yeah?
Don't be a fool. Okay, your way, Russ.
You'll never be the same.
You ready to go back to town, Mrs. Crawford? It's the time on Broadway when the crowd gives up, goes home. Then it's the street of the dim moonlight and the dark whispers and the wind of the night, the wind that scatters everything. Yesterday's headlines, yesterday's dreams, yesterday's people. It's Broadway, the gaudiest, the most violent, the lonesomest mile in the world. Broadway, my beat.
In the role of Danny Clover, Brody Fitzpatrick. Playing Russ Gavey, Julian Laney. As Muggavan, John Wilcox. Edith Crawford, played by Amanda Propitz. Tartaglia, Eric Roddy. Dr. Sinsky, Luis Manharis. Playing Lucille Lang, Taylor Stacy. And Mr. Hanson, played by Gio Ferrar. The makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum hope you enjoyed tonight's story and that you are enjoying Wrigley's Spearmint Gum every day. We invite you to join us next week at this same time when Detective Danny Clover returns again with Broadway's My Beat. Broadway's My Beat was brought to you by Wrigley's Spearmint Gum and the Long Beach City College Theater Arts Department. I'm your announcer, Dudley Mellish, reminding you always, stay safe and write your mother. Till next time, goodbye.